There is nothing I hate more than a failing stream. So frustrating, so annoying. I am so sorry about that, guys. That was brutal. I guess OBS is actually having an issue right now where if you have an OBS feature ticked on called accelerated picture, it like starts crashing your visuals. So I had to take that setting off. So hopefully we're all good now. I'm really hoping we are. Anyways, as I was saying before, guys, if you were here when I was saying it, I'm glad to be back. It has been a little while since we've done this. I'm really hoping we don't have any more issues from here. Fingers crossed. It's just obviously, of course, I don't stream in months, and the first stream I want to come back, it does this to me. So hopefully we'll be okay. We'll just go with it. But let's talk for a bit. I got maybe about an hour and a half before I gotta go. So let's take advantage of this. Cameron, I made it. Good to have you here, man. Good to see you. I hope you don't forget about my question about what you think of the Joker 2 being a full-blown musical and OpenAI trying to encourage filmmakers to use AI in their movies. Yes. So, first of all, Donovan, I did see your comments about Penguin and Joker 2. And Penguin, Chef's Kiss, looks gorgeous. Looks just as entertaining as the Batman movie did. I'm really looking forward to that. I saw this report that apparently Colin Farrell had to literally fight with Warner Brothers executives because they didn't want Penguin to have a cigar in the show. Like, why? Like, can can they like give an explanation on why that was such a dire addition to take away? Like, what was their reasoning for being like, oh no, Penguin cannot have a cigar? Don't really understand that at all. Doesn't make sense to me. Regardless, though, absolutely appreciate that um he fought for that. I do really like that he fought for that. And, looking forward to the show overall because I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And then when it comes to the Joker, I heard that the whole thing with the Joker is that it's going to be like what the 15 really big pop culture type songs that are going to be used in the movie. And I don't know. I just kind of feel like with the Joker 2, I personally am not interested. I really don't care to see the Joker 2 at all. I actually think it would have been a-okay if the Joker just ended at one movie. Um I think if they announced, the Joker 2 and then it came out and it wasn't a musical, I feel as if maybe I'd be a little more interested in the Joker 2, but the fact that it is going to be some form of musical, I don't know. I'm not feeling it as much as I would have before, and I really don't know how it's going to work. Like, I really don't know how that's going to work for the majority of people, if it's going to be something that they're really interested in, or if it's going to be something that people, really care about. Oh, I can't wait to see Joker and Harley sing whatever pop culture song you can think of right now. I'm not sure. I don't know. Joker 2 is unnecessary. Yeah, I don't know if it's the most like if that's something we would have needed at the moment. I think the Joker, what it was fine. But we'll see. Sub T.M.M. I'm building my own DC cinematic universe. What are two things I should definitely do? Like, I actually want to use the Wildstorm characters, but just love to know your take on others. Interesting. Very interesting question. Um Hmm. I think one of the biggest things about a DC cinematic universe is obviously playing up to the fact that the Trinity are crazy important. Like they're very important for the wider DC universe. But more so than that is every single character needs to feel genuine and authentic. And I think there needs to be this idea that if if I made a Batman movie and someone else within this DC universe made a Superman movie, there needs to be like this fine line. There needs to be like this really perfected area of they feel like different movies, like they could be things that take place within the same universe, but aren't connected in the way that, if you really wanted to, this Batman movie could be a standalone. This Superman movie could be a standalone. Each film, in my opinion, would need to feel authentic and genuine, as if like this belongs to Superman and Superman only. It's only the fact that I'm putting a connected universe label on it that shows you it's part of a connected universe. The characters need to be who they are to be within their genuine respective areas, essentially. That's probably like the biggest thing I would take away from making a cinematic universe, is that the characters need to feel like they belong in a connected universe, but they have their own issues they have to solve in their own worlds. Have you seen the Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes show? No, I haven't, unfortunately. I don't really watch many Marvel things anymore. That was a cartoon though, right? That was on for a couple years. I didn't watch it though. Um okay, okay. Can you do a villain's super six, Sinister Six? What what is a villain super six, Sinister Six? Who are the villain super six? Because if I have more information on who they are, then I will potentially do it. Uh, what James Gunn DCU project are you most excited for? Uh so I'm not, in my honest opinion, I have to be real and transparent with everyone. Um because I'm such a big fan of DC, a lot of people immediately assume, "Oh, here's a guy who's really excited for the DCU from James Gunn. He loves DC, he must be excited." Personally, I'm not. I'm not really looking forward to it. I already have this idea that I am not its demographic. I am not the particular person that James Gunn might be catering to. This is coming from a person like myself who loves Zack Snyder's Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, Zack Snyder's Justice League. And that is, I'm not withholding judgment there. There are things about that world that could have been done better. I'm not saying it's perfect, but like that's my type of tone. That's what I like. And I just already have a feeling that James Gunn's DCU is not going to be for me. But disregarding that, let's just hypothetically say, you know what? Okay, perfect. The DCU's on its way. What am I looking forward to? Right now, it has to be the Green Lantern show. It has to be the Green Lantern TV show. Now, I'm a little disappointed that it's taking place on Earth. I feel like it should take place within the galaxy, within the universe of DC. I don't think we need more heroes being so centered off of Earth at the moment. Considering that's Green Lantern, baby. Like we all know what he's good for. He's good for being out there. They got sectors to take care of, and I understand that Hal, John, they're the protectors of our sector. I get it, but I still feel like they do enough work outside of our sector. You could make a show about it. But That's my long answer. That is what I'm most looking forward to for the DCU. So we'll see how it pans out. Maybe I will be very wrong. Maybe the DCU will come out and I will end up saying, whoa, this is really damn good. Who knows? We'll see. Only time will tell. Um, let's see. Gunn doesn't have much contract left after his Superman movie. Do you think that it won't be renewed after Superman movie flops? So this is the idea that Superman will flop if it does. Now I can actually combine your question, Brown Destroyer, with kind of like other things I've been hearing from people. And it was actually even left in one of my rapid response posts that I might make a video about. But it was basically how much money does Superman Legacy need to make to be considered a success or not a flop? And I think there's a lot of things you have to take into this type of situation. It's James Gunn as a filmmaker. Does his name enough bring in $1 billion? Let's just hypothetically say. Is $1 billion a success? Yes. What under $1 billion is a success for Superman? Is Superman enough of a... We all know who Superman is. A lot of DC fans love Superman, but outside of DC fans, the general audience, is Superman a big enough name to bring people into the theaters and eventually grow this movie past 700-800 million worldwide, right? There is so much context and so much things we need to, take into this type of discussion about Superman's box office success or failure. It'll be interesting. I mean, I find it hard to believe that they wouldn't sign Gunn back to a new contract saying maybe another 4 or 5 years, because he has one more year left after Superman drops. There's not that much time left. I also think it really depends on if Warner Brothers stays Warner Brothers or gets bought out by somebody else, and that somebody else I do strongly believe is going to be Universal. So at that point, because Universal will be basically the father of that deal, they will be taking on Warner Brothers and DC under their wing. What does Universal say? Do they say, oh, absolutely, bring back James Gunn? Or do they say, you know what, we actually don't want to go your direction, we want to go somewhere else, so when your contract is done, it's done, right? I'm not exactly sure. I'm at a 50-50 right now. I could see James Gunn's universe working for a multitude of reasons, but I could also see it not working for another multitude of reasons. So we will end up seeing what happens there. What did you say though? $700-800 million would be a success. Yeah, and we also have to take into consideration that Superman has never been a moneymaker. Superman's never been the character that makes a lot of money. Zack Snyder's Man of Steel made $680 million worldwide, and that was huge for Superman. Superman does not do that. It doesn't carry that much numbers. Also, too, I believe Man of Steel didn't even need to rely on the box office to make its money back. I think they made a lot of their money back on like outside sources, like promotions and stuff, which is very fascinating. So we'll have to see what happens. Like I say, like it's so easy to sit here and say, oh, flop incoming, not going to happen. And that's mainly because of the tainted reputation that DC and Warner Brothers currently has. Because, like, there's really nothing they could do right now to save face, to make their brand look any better than it actually is. But then there are other situations where I could say, James Gunn, whereas yes, has never handled a Superman, has handled Guardians of the Galaxy. And whereas yes, Guardians of the Galaxy is mainly successful because it has an MCU backing it, what if what if Superman Legacy capitalizes off of the name of James Gunn is essentially what I'm trying to say. So yeah, you never know. Yeah, you're right, Brown Destroyer. You're absolutely right. I'm trying to play devil's advocate a little bit here, but you are right. Like Robert Pattinson's Batman didn't make 800 million, and 100%. I do feel like because COVID was still locking down some areas, so people weren't seeing the Batman as much as others. And some people literally just could not go see the movie in theaters. And yes, once again, you are correct. Batman is way more popular than Superman. What would the Batman have made though if it didn't have those COVID restrictions? I still gotta say, I don't even think it would touch 900 million. I think maybe another 50 million would have been tacked on, and other than that, I don't know if it would have made much more than that. So you definitely have some points. You definitely do. All right. Shike, yeah, you were mentioning the villains Super Six. What did you say about it here? Joker, Lex, or your favorite villain that faces up against. Oh, that's actually okay. That's a cool idea. That is a cool idea. So, like, essentially, I could take Lex Luthor and basically take 6 hero type characters from the DC universe and pin them up against Lex. Or yeah, okay. No, I like that. That's a cool idea. Okay. I'll keep that in mind. I'll start putting some ideas together. I also saw that you said day 12 of asking for it. You can put those days to rest because now I am going to start thinking of some ideas. I got you, brother. I got you. All right. What are we doing here? Let's see. Cameron, I mean, it's not like they don't deserve it. They keep making dumbass decisions. Canceling a Batman Beyond movie was the biggest one. And like, hold on here. Let me quench for a second here. Okay. Let me talk about this Batman Beyond thing for a moment, because what the hell? So, when I became a fan of this brand, I made a video called Marvel vs. DC. I'm giving you a little bit of a history here. I made a video a couple days ago about Marvel vs. DC, why I like DC better. It got 10,000 views and still counting. A lot of responses. Thank you to everyone who watched it and commented. Now, I specifically said I liked DC more growing up once Batman Begins hit theaters. When Batman Begins hit, I was like, let's go. This is awesome. I love Batman. I love DC. And that's why Marvel started to fade away from me, because I started prioritizing DC. Now, crazy thing is, I was not a fan of Batman Beyond. I really just did not like the character. I think as a kid, I had this really weird, like, thing that I could not get over the fact that Batman is no longer Bruce Wayne. Terry McGinnis. Who's this bum? Who is this kid? Why do I want to watch or see him as Batman? I had this really weird thing about it. I don't really know why. The Batman Beyond cartoon was great. The Batman Beyond movie, the animated movie, was great with who was it? Tim Drake as the Joker. The Justice League animated series, where there were episodes where they did this multiversal dimensional travel where he meets Batman Beyond, is great. It's awesome. The older I got, the more I loved it. And let me tell you this right now. A lot of you might know I'm not a fan of Michael Keaton's Batman. I was never a fan of those movies. I was never a fan of his interpretation of Batman or Bruce Wayne. It just wasn't for me. And I have someone in my life, Hannah, my girlfriend, who absolutely loves Michael Keaton's Batman. She loves him. I can't get on board. I don't like it. But when they said that there was a plan of a Batman Beyond movie with Michael Keaton returning as Batman, Bruce Wayne, even though I'm not a fan of Michael Keaton, that is something I would have watched. Even though I would have personally gone a different direction with a different actor playing Bruce Wayne, I still do think Michael Keaton deserves his flowers. He deserves the respect that he got for playing Batman. And the fact that you are just given this opportunity to make a Batman Beyond with an actor who's willing to come back as Batman and you don't do it. What else can I say other than silence? Because it's stupid. It's stupid. And then you have the same guys who make the Into the Spider-Verse movies. And what do? Hey, Warner Brothers, we got this Batman Beyond idea that honestly, I think it's going to transition into a Spider-Verse, but with Batman. Yeah, just so you guys know, this is Warner Brothers talking. Just so you guys know, we're not going to be able to make a Batman Beyond movie right now, but we'll hear you out. I don't get it. I don't get it. But then after that news drops, what do they come out and say? Oh, by the way, guys, we're making a Jurassic Park League Justice League animated movie. Why? I don't understand why they are allergic to listening to the fan base. I don't get it. So, yeah, not making a Batman Beyond movie in any way by now, live action or animated, does not make any sense to me. And it's stupid. It is stupid. Hungry Almighty, do you think we'll get a Nightwing HBO Max show? Because I assume Brave and Bold won't get a sequel until Batman 3. So in the meantime, a Nightwing HBO Max is a mini sequel till Batman Brave and Bold 2. Yeah, so obviously, assuming if the DCU does end up moving forward and it is on track, I actually don't know if Nightwing will get a show. I think Nightwing is deserving of a movie, but once again, I think we do need to consider the name factor. Would Nightwing be enough to bring people to theaters? And I feel like the only way you could start bringing these characters into theaters for a DC cinematic universe is if the DCU ends up being as popular as the MCU. Because what Marvel could do, maybe not right now, but, you know, around Endgame time, even a little bit before, Marvel could say, hey, everyone, we're making who's a really obscure Marvel character? I really don't know. Let's just go and say, okay, Ant-Man and Wasp, right? Not Ant-Man, just Wasp. We're making a Wasp movie. And people would have gone to the theater to see it because it was tied into the MCU. So you could get away with the DCU. You could get away with Nightwing having his own movie as long as the DCU has a successful name behind it. Once again, time will tell. Supergirl casting, Brown Destroyer, Supergirl casting, what do you think? I like her in House of Dragon. That's the only thing I know her from. I think she's great in House of Dragon. It's not where I would have gone for Supergirl, though, in my opinion. Oh, this coffee's getting cold. I gotta chug this thing. That's something I don't do is cold coffee. Gross. Okay, let's see. Ben's Batman was my favorite live action Batman. He's a great Batman. He was awesome and he deserved better. And I don't mean deserved better in the sense that, oh, Zack Snyder didn't write him well. That's not what I mean. I think he was written well. I think he was executed well. He deserved better in the sense that he deserved more. He deserved his own movie. He deserved future appearances that weren't ruined by cameo bait like The Flash and any other movie he appeared in. Let's see. Gal was a good Wonder Woman. Yeah, she was solid. She was solid. The Teen Titans movie, I think it is really cool. I think a Teen Titans movie is I think a Teen Titans movie would be a movie that I could see coming later in a DCU, just not right now. Like, I don't think a Teen Titans movie should be coming anywhere past anywhere past 4 years. I think is fine. 4 years and under, I think it's too early for a Teen Titans film. Let's see. Have you, Lucas, have you seen Dune 2 yet? No, I haven't. And you know what? I don't know why. Um, I almost feel as if my interest in Dune has just dropped. Like I've lost a lot of connection and interest in seeing the movie. I almost feel like what I'm actually waiting for is for the hype of Dune to die down. And when the hype is done, then I'll watch it. I don't know. I'm just not feeling that pull to see it. That pull was there for me with Dune 1. I was all for it. But then Dune 2, I think what it is, and I'm stuck on this idea. I don't know why. But I'm stuck on this idea that the way the Dunes should have been filmed and made was the same way as Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, per se, they were filmed back to back to back. Dune should have been filmed that way. That's how they should have executed Dune in the first place. And I think because there's just so much weight between these movies that have so much rich lore that you need to pay attention to, I'm not interested in watching Dune 2 at the moment. That's just how I see it. I don't know. I will watch it eventually, though. CAC. T.M.M, do you like movies or shows more? Movies. It is movies. However, the older I have gotten, the more I have understood that when you make a TV show, you allow yourself to expand a little more than you would do movie. So it really depends. It really depends what type of story you're trying to tell, because a TV show might be more beneficial than a movie. But the reason why I'm even here today is because of my love for this entertainment world in general. So I do like both. Cameron, in your opinion, why do you think Wonder Woman is not as big as Superman and Batman, from her villains to even her supporting cast, which is strange because it's literally Greek myth? Yeah, I think the fact that Batman and Superman being the first two superheroes of all time um really seals the deal on the popularity of these characters. Now, I believe, in my opinion, when it comes to Wonder Woman, I pay attention to the Greek myth. I pay attention to the mythology of Wonder Woman because that's what makes her Wonder Woman. I actually think a lot of people don't pay enough attention to the Greek mythology. And I actually don't know if people care enough about her Greek mythology. They're just thinking about how she's this woman warrior, almost as strong as Superman, and can take down gods. That's really cool. I feel as over time, comic book writers, movie directors, movie writers, producers, we've seen enough content over the years that they have taken Batman and Superman. They have made countless stories for those two characters. They have deconstructed these two characters, more so Batman than Superman, and they've built them from the ground up. You know, hey, here's Batman. What happens if I bring him down here and then bring him back up? Or maybe start him in the middle, bring him down, bring him back up. I think the growth of both Batman and Superman, once again, heavily Batman, I think that's why they've overshadowed Wonder Woman amongst the Trinity over the years. Although if you kind of tell what DC has been doing within comic books, it really looked like over the past maybe 4 or 5 years, they tried getting Wonder Woman back into the spotlight. Ever since Batman vs. Superman, when Gal Gadot showed up in the film, they really wanted to, make the character more viable and popular than she was before. But I just think it's been so long that they've been doing that stuff more with Batman and Superman that it's hard for Wonder Woman now. It's a lot of catch up, and not all the time do you catch up. That's another big problem. Brown Destroyer is the writers of Wonder Woman messed her story up in recent time, and I just think that with like, I actually believe, even though I, and you know this, I even responded to one of your comments on my videos earlier today. I wasn't a huge fan of New 52, but I actually think Wonder Woman was really well done in New 52. So, yeah, it's just I don't think she's being paid enough attention by creatives the way Batman and Superman are. And usually when she is, she plays a supporting role, not a main role, which can really ruin your character. To be honest, the best DC films are the animated ones. It's not because it's all connected, it's because everything, even the ones that are considered bad, are actually better than the ones we got. I love the animated DC stuff. Until when they started a new DC animated universe with Justice League War, I wasn't a fan of those movies too much. Apparently, the Teen Titans lineup would be based on the Rebirth era. I'm not reading Rebirth, so who is Teen Titans in Rebirth? Teen Titans Rebirth. Damian, Beast Boy, Starfire, Raven, and Wally. That's who it is. I mean, that's really not that different. You're kind of just replacing Cyborg with Wally, and you have Damian instead of Dick, or potentially even Tim. That's all right. And you know what? Okay, think about it. It now makes sense, because if James Gunn is going to be using Damian Wayne for his DCU, Damian's going to be the leader of the Titans. So I get it. Okay, wild card. What movie are you more hyped for in the DCU? Honestly, Superman, I'm not looking forward to. I'm actually at that moment right now, guys. I'm not even gonna lie. I could care less about the Superman movie. I don't really care. Batman Brave and the Bold, I'm far more invested in Matt Reeves' Batman than that. So I'm 50-50. What other movies are we getting? Swamp Thing? That's the third. Oh my god. I am forgetting. Swamp Thing, The Authority. Can't remember. Probably Swamp Thing, even though I don't think it's a right time for a Swamp Thing movie. And The Authority, even though I know The Authority is just James Gunn, like, seething, like salivating from the teeth, like, oh, I want to make an obscure team like The Authority. Even though I know that's why he's doing this, I would still say I'd be curious to seeing how The Authority would pan out. So we'll see there. Because they tried to make them a lot more important in Rebirth than they ever have in comic book history. And I don't think that Authority line sold well. Not until Grant Morrison came into the picture, at least. All right, where did I leave off? SMDB money. Let's go, bro. The best Batman is Arkham Batman. He stays the most true to the character, while with it still being a darker take on his mythology. The Arkham Batman is my favorite Batman of all time. I love Arkham Batman, and I'm still to this day am very hurt by what Rocksteady has done with this Suicide Squad game. So it's not canon in my eyes. Arkham Batman is awesome. This bad boy right here. Love them. All right. Oh, and yes, the next comment, Sheik. Thoughts on the Suicide Squad game? Yeah, uh, not good. And I'm not gonna buy it. I will buy that game when it is under $8. I will buy that game when it's 90% off. So yeah, I still can't believe what they did. They've even you know what? That's something I actually want to quickly check up here, guys. Something I just quickly want to look at. They released the DLC for the Joker yesterday. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. And I don't think it got many views on their gameplay trailer. Yeah, 2 days ago, the DC YouTube channel only has 44,000 views. It does not have much at all. It's because people don't care. People aren't interested. And believe it or not, the only people who are actually watching that trailer, out of 44,000 people who just watched that trailer, 34,000 people watched just to shit on it. That's all it was. Let's see. Cameron, yeah, should have just left it at Justice League War. I agree. Sorry, so many comments here, guys. I'm just trying to catch up. Lucas, you say I'd see it on a cheap night at IMAX. It's good, but I saw the second. Okay, yeah, cool. Yeah, that's a good point too, Lucas. An HBO series for Dune would have potentially been really good instead of a three-part movie series. They might do more because there's more books. Alex, thoughts on the new Penguin trailer? Really good. I think Colin Farrell's going to kill it just like he has before. I think the Penguin looks fantastic. Like the show, I mean, not just the Penguin. I think I mentioned when I started this stream about 37 minutes ago, I think it is absolutely ridiculous that Warner Brothers was fighting with Colin Farrell to not have a cigar. I just don't get it. I don't get Warner Brothers, man. They don't deserve this IP. Okay. Let's see. Torres says he loves Justice League War. Fair enough, to each their own. It wasn't for me, but I get it. Darkseid was cool in that. CAC, I did watch Spectacular Spider-Man. Is that the one that came out like mid to late 2000s? Because if that's the one I'm thinking of, yes, I did watch it. Really loved it. The Tomorrowverse is really messed up. It is, and it's actually kept me away from it because of how messed up it is. I keep hearing from a lot of people that they're not liking it. They're not fond of it. So I've just been staying away from it. Have you played the new Suicide Squad game? Haven't played it, but heard some pretty bad things. No, I have not played it. I have heard terrible things as well. And like I said, I'm only going to buy it when it's under like $8. So. CAC, I wish for Injustice 3. Yes, so do I. I really hope that NetherRealm is potentially working on a third game. I think we deserve that. I think we need a break from Mortal Kombat games. I think over the Mortal Kombat 11 and the reboot Mortal Kombat 1, I just think it's just we've had too much of those types of games. We need like a solid hiatus. Maybe try Injustice again. People loved it. Claymores, my hype level is 0 on anything DCU until a trailer impresses me. Essentially, yeah, 100%. I completely agree with this statement. Until a trailer maybe catches my attention, I just don't really care for it at the moment. What do you think about the new Superman logo S? I love the Kingdom Come vibe. I love Kingdom Come Superman. So I really like it. I like the idea of the S. I think the texture looks like garbage. I don't think the texture looks good at all. Although very 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 strange. Gotta stretch this leg out. Very very strange how so many people were so against Henry Cavill's Man of Steel suit, the texture on the suit, but weirdly enough, they're okay with the texture on this suit. Very, very hypocritical, if I do say. But it looks okay. I'm not like overly impressed. I think I just like the idea that it's Kingdom Come inspired. It's just the wrong colors. I'd prefer it to be red and black. But obviously, he's supposed to be a young Superman, so that won't be a thing for a while. Are you watching Invincible currently? No, because I wanted to wait for the entire season to come out. I think it's really stupid that they've made us wait so long for season 2 and then they made us wait 3 or 4 months for the second part of season 2. I think that's dumb. So, I'm waiting. I know it's out right now, but that's why I waited, I should say. I think I'm actually going to start it tonight. Uh I'm a cast T.M.M as Officer Martinez in my cinematic universe. Oh, thrilling. Awesome. Of all characters to get, I get that one. Thank you so much. Imagine a Batman similar to Arkham Batman in live action. I've said this to people I know, but they don't believe me. Although I like the Nolan trilogy, it is overrated. Um, here's my thing about that. Ben Affleck is the closest Batman we've ever had to an Arkham Batman, strictly based off of the way he moves, the way he fights, the things he does. Um, however, um, I think with uh, like a Arkham Batman, what starts to be an issue is as a writer or like say you put him in a DC universe, right? I do wonder if what happens is okay, if this is how good Batman is, why do we need a Justice League? Because this Batman could hypothetically and theoretically just solve every problem on his own. However, I am with you. I am 100% with you. I would love an Arkham Knight Batman or an Arkham verse Batman in film. I do think there's a way to do it. I really do. I really do. Um, let's see. My screen's black again. Oh, okay. No, we good. We good. All right. Never mind. I was gonna say OBS. Don't be screwing with me here. Don't be doing this. Um, let's see. Matthew McConaughey would have been a good Green Lantern. Yeah, he would have been solid. Obviously, I think the only route for him would have been Hal Jordan. I think he would be all right. I do know that so many people wanted him as Professor Zoom, and I do think he would fit Professor Zoom, but I doubt that'll happen. I don't think Matthew McConaughey is looking to be in these types of movies. Do you think Justice League Dark could be marketable? Yes. Considering, I mean, it was going to be made by Guillermo del Toro at one point, and that, once again, as in pure Warner Brothers fashion, canceled. So I think it could work. I'm not saying, oh my god, 800 million in the box office. You could maybe earn about 600-700 though. I think it has a name for itself, especially if you have Justice League in there. It's gonna make some money because of that. Gunn is looking for a new fan base that doesn't exist, and Twitter is not a real place. No, Twitter's a complete joke. You can put out a tweet of literally anything you want, anything in the world, no matter how insane it might be, and get 50,000 likes on that tweet, because either people just like anything they see, they don't care, or you can easily, I don't think people understand on Twitter how easy it is to buy bots for likes. I think for like 10,000 likes, you can buy it for $1.49. It's not hard on Twitter. So the loudest people on Twitter, they would be super quiet in the real world because they don't truly have a voice outside of the 50,000 likes they get for no damn good reason. And that's exactly what I mean. Like, I don't think I'm in Gunn's demographic. I'm certainly not somebody, my viewpoints on these characters, my viewpoints on film, the reason why I like movies and this type of stuff, he doesn't speak to me. And I know that. And if James Gunn maybe knew me as a person, he would probably know that too. He would just know that, like, in a way, how we both see film, you know, water and oil, we're just not compatible in that way, and I don't think I'm in his demographic. So for the DCU, it's not a good start for me. Why is Gunn doing so many obscured movies and shows instead of actual members of Justice League? Who cares about Creature Commandos? And then soon after, Cameron said, blame Guardians of the Galaxy. And yeah, I couldn't agree more. Once again, if the there's two things here I'm going to tell you. If the MCU either A, was not as successful as it is, or B, wasn't even a real thing, the MCU never happened, there's two things that would have happened with Guardians of the Galaxy. Once again, A, it would have been made and nobody wouldn't have cared. It would have been made into one movie and there never would have been another Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Or Marvel would have laughed at the pitch of Guardians of the Galaxy. Marvel, Disney, whoever owns them, right? They would have laughed at the idea of it and said, no, we're not doing a Guardians of the Galaxy. No thanks. It's only because of the MCU. If the MCU is not real, Guardians would not have the name they have today. You wouldn't have a Guardians of the Galaxy game, which I fairly enjoyed, but you wouldn't have that. It wouldn't be a thing. So I feel as if, once again, he's making the Authority. He's doing Creature Commandos, for God's sake. I mean, it's because he got away with Guardians of the Galaxy, and maybe now there's this hope that the name James Gunn is capable of carrying these projects to be a little more profitable and popular amongst all fan bases, because now it's, oh, James Gunn, he did Guardians of the Galaxy, you know? But once again, you have to praise the MCU for that. Because if the MCU is real, I don't think Guardians of the Galaxy, it goes anywhere. I don't even think it's ever made. Let's see. Some good questions, some good comments. I'm making my way down. Making my way downtown. Don't worry. I'm getting there. Do you think the DCU will overtake the MCU? No, I do not. I think the DCU is starting to rise when the MCU is trying to get the wheels back under. They're trying to get that engine turning again, and I think if they do, it is game over for a DCU. I do feel like if Marvel can really pick it up, people right now would much rather see a Deadpool Wolverine film than a new Superman movie. And I'll say this, Wolverine is my favorite Marvel character, or he's in my top 3 Marvel characters, because it's between him, Magneto, and Venom. And Hugh Jackman it's what he's done for Wolverine has been legendary. The only character to play him in cinema history. I would much rather see Wolverine and Deadpool than a new Superman movie. Like, if those two movies came out at the same day, I'm sorry, I think I'm going to have to go Wolverine and Deadpool. And that's mainly because of Wolverine and Hugh Jackman. And if the rumor is true, because oh my god, this would be crazy if the rumor's true. If the rumor's true, Henry Cavill is playing a Wolverine in that movie. And I'm supporting Henry Cavill after how shitty Warner Brothers treated that man and how he was unfairly let go from being Superman. So I'm supporting him over a new Superman movie. I'm sorry. I just am. I am. Let's see. Okay. Lost my place here because YouTube just brings me down. And by the way, I see you guys. Britain, how's it going? Good to have you here. Bleeding Edge Studios, long time no see. Good to have you here. I will get to your comments in time. Don't worry, I'm just making my way down. Where did I leave off? Let's see. What do you think of the rumored actor to play Hal Jordan? Arnold's son. Yeah, I think he would be cool. Hungry Almighty. I think Patrick would be a good fit for a Green Lantern. Yeah, I think he could do Hal. I think he could do Hal. I also think he could potentially do Kyle Rayner. He's just got to dye his hair. What do you think James Gunn Endgame with the DCU is? I don't know, because the whole idea in my mind would be that there is no DCU end. He just wants to keep going. However, I will say the villain, out of everything I've heard, rumblings, rumors, ideas, take these with a grain of salt. The center is supposed to be the villain at the end of the day. He's going for a very 70s feel to it. That's his call. That's clearly what he likes, considering the music he places all over in his movies. And then I feel as if we could be going to a Kingdom Come route. I think a Kingdom Come route would be really well done. I just find it so hard to believe that a guy like James Gunn likes Kingdom Come. It feels so out of his wheelhouse. Britain, or actually, wait, there's another comment here. Why has it disappeared? Oh, okay. I'm not that excited for James Gunn's DCU. A majority of the projects focus on lesser known characters. Lightning never strikes twice. No, it's very hard to do that. There's only a very few people who can, have lightning strike twice. So I don't know. I agree with you. I think it's really slim to none. And I would say it like that's an understatement. Slim to none. It's very slim. Let's see. Barnabas, hey man, just joining in. I am a really big Gunn DCU supporter. Really have high hopes. I trust him and am excited about all the obscure stuff. I think it's going to be good unless lack of support. And all the power to you, brother. You know what? For your case, I hope it is good. Like, what people need to understand, and I'm not saying you don't understand it. I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of people out here who don't understand that I'm, me, like-minded people like myself who aren't looking forward to the DCU. I'm not saying, oh my God, let the DCU crash and burn. That's not what I'm saying. I want a good DCU. I just think there's things James Gunn has done that I have not sat right with me. I think there's decisions they're making, and I think the state of Warner Brothers is so poor. I just don't know if it's going to work. Prove me wrong, though, you know? So for you, you know, we need people like you, man, because if the DCU is going to survive, they're going to need fans. So keep, keep being a supporter of the DCU, essentially. Keep doing what you're doing. Let's see. Have you seen X-Men 97? It's fire. I watched the cartoon back in the day, but I haven't seen the newest two episodes they dropped. But I've heard some great things. Heard some great things. Alex, do you think Warner Brothers will be bought out in a few months? Yeah, and I would not be surprised if in April. Like literally let me look at my calendar here. How long do we have? We literally have 1 week and a day. We have 8 days. Yeah, we have like basically 8 days until April 1st. I would not be surprised if in April we start to see some crazy stuff like Warner Brothers is talking with Universal, blah blah blah. Their stock is terrible right now. They're dropping like every day. Let me quickly look. Warner Brothers stock. It's not pretty. $8.46. I mean, I'm not a business dude. One of my buddies is a business guy. He does stock trading and stuff. So he understands this. And what he's told me, like, and it's not good, if your stock plummets to where you first opened your stock in the first place, that means you are currently going bankrupt. Warner Brothers opened their stock in 2005 at $8. They're now at $8. So if that's not telling you this company's in trouble, I don't know what will. So they are 100%, they're actively looking for a sale. You think Zaslav wants to own this company any longer than he already has? He's just doing it for a profit. All right. There was a comment about making my own X-Men. I swear I saw one. Got YouTube, though, I swear to God, just plummets me down when there's new comments. Like, now I have to refine everything. Oh my God. How successful do you think a question show or a Booster Gold and Blue Beetle show would be? A question show would be really cool because you could actually make it very different than a DC type property. You know, you could really take the question and form it into an Elseworlds project that doesn't feel like it needs to be connected to a DCU. So a question would be really cool. Booster Gold and Blue Beetle. I think we need a joint movie would be better than their own solo movies because I'm sticking with it. I still don't think that Blue Beetle movie was good in any way. Random question: can Cyborg hack Blue Beetle? Oh, good question at that. Yes, I'm gonna say yes. Going based off the idea that he's a product of the mother box, yes. And I'm not saying it'll be easy, but he can do it. He can do it. Although Blue Beetle will have natural defenses within his armor. My question is, which 7 heroes would you choose to be part of the Teen Titans if you did a DCU? All right. We go in Robin. And we're gonna do Dick Grayson Robin. So at this point, I would maybe peg him at like 15. Yeah, we'll do 15, 16. Dick Grayson Robin, Starfire, Raven, Beast Boy, Cyborg. Okay, you got 5. After that, you can start to play around a little bit here. I would have a super. No, I'm not going to do Superboy. I'm actually going to go Supergirl. I'm throwing Supergirl into the mix here. So that would be 6. Then my 7. My 7 would be Arsenal. That would be my 7th. That's what I would do. And over time, you can change the characters, but that would be my starting 7. T.M.M, I wonder if you'll do a video on Marvel's own Suicide Squad like team, despite there's technically one in the Thunderbolts, but it'll be similar to how you did with the Sinister Six. I could potentially do it. My only problem is as I've said before, I just don't know Marvel characters like I do DC. So I'm not exactly sure how much I'll be able to, really tap into knowledge for. I could try it, though. I could try it. All I'm saying, Henry is going to appear in the film. Shh. I think it's going to happen too. I think he really is. And it's going to be crazy. I do wonder if it would have any implications for DC, like if it would plummet them even more. Bleeding Edge Studios' Superman Legacy will flop because there are way too many heroes and the CGI costs will go up. Yeah, I don't care if they're in it for a couple of minutes or seconds. There is too many characters in this movie. And apparently the budget for that film is upwards of $350 million. And if that is true, that's not good. That is an already... That's failure waiting to happen if that's the case. And the comments, all the way back down again. Unreal. Let's see. It would be trolling for Warner Brothers if Henry Cavill played Sentry. Yeah, that would be crazy. I do think Henry Cavill, I would love to see Henry Cavill take on a main role somewhere there because in Marvel, they'll actually treat him properly. They'll actually give him a solid role to play. I would like to see him do something over there. He was done dirty at DC, and they don't deserve any respect for that. Yeah, New Frontier is not bad. I don't mind New Frontier. It's not it's not a Justice League inspired comic book that if I was thinking about great Justice League stories, I would go to New Frontier and be like, that's the one. But it's enjoyable no matter what. From Alex, do you think it's a problem that they're introducing Damian Wayne before Dick Grayson in the DCU? Yeah, in a manner of speaking, sure, because I don't like Damian Wayne, so maybe that's me just being a little biased. I'm not a fan of Damian. Um, I would have much rather seen Dick Grayson Robin, but I guarantee you he's already Nightwing in this world. I already have a feeling he's Nightwing, so that's probably why. Um, as long as Dick Grayson is already existent and was Robin prior to Damian, I'll live with it. It's fine. Warner Brothers is the main villain of the DCU. Warner Brothers is the main villain of DC. Warner Brothers is the main villain of themselves. They're awful. Uh, let's see. I'm not sitting here saying I know all the casual audience may think of the DCU, but I have friends and colleagues that are as casual as you can get, but asked me what's going on with the DC, and I told them that they got excited I told them and they got excited for Brave and the Bold. And now, see, that's a huge thing, right? Because Batman will bring that excitement in, which is why I think the DCU should be starting with Batman, not Superman. T.M.M, you are pretty cool with your ideas. You do your own comics. No, I don't do my own comics, but I have been heavily working on my own what if stories. Currently, I'm working on what if Kal-El landed on Oa. I am I'm working on part 3 right now. Part 3 is supposed to be the end. It's supposed to be the end of the storyline as of right now. But that's where I'm trying to take a lot of my channel as well. I'm trying to right now really do a lot of what if stories and trying to get my storytelling. I'm trying to branch it out a lot more because that's essentially where I want to take my career. I want to do a lot of storytelling. Check out part 1 and 2 if you haven't seen part 1 and 2. I think you'll enjoy them. But would I ever make my own comics? Yes, I would. I would love to do something like that. And the comments just scroll all the way down. Lucas, which character will Chris Pratt play in the DCU? Frankly, I don't want him to play anybody in the DCU. I really don't. I'm just not interested in seeing Chris Pratt in the DCU. But because it's James Gunn and they're butt buddies, it's likely to happen. Booster Gold. I think of the characters being established right now, who we've been told they're going to play, or who's going to be in the DCU, it would have to be Booster Gold. If they did Hal Jordan, maybe. We'll see. If not, like, I've even heard people say Batman, and I'm one ear out the other. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear that. Let's see. Do you honestly love Robert Pattinson's Batman movie? Did Batman have any success there? Because he did not capture main villain there and he did not stop bombs from exploding. Okay. All right. Here's what I'll say. I genuinely think the Robert Pattinson Batman movie is one of the best overrated films I've ever seen in my life. Yes, I said it. One of the best overrated films I've ever seen in my life. I think it is a very well done movie. And as a diehard Batman fan, I am okay with saying I have a bias towards the character. So usually whatever Batman stuff comes out, I'm going to like it. However, that movie is vastly overrated. Like, it seriously is. And the way it's talked about as being like the peak iteration of Batman, I highly disagree with it. You know, if you told me the movie's a 10 out of 10 pure perfection, I would disagree. If you told me that it's a 9 out of 10, hypothetically, I think I would disagree too. I think it's like an 8. It's a solid 8. I think it's a great movie. I think the bias in me says anything Batman's a 10 out of 10, but I am okay with admitting that it's a bias. You know, I think the movie is just being talked about as like literally, if a movie could save humanity, there are people who think that this movie would save humanity. It's not on that level. It's really not. It's not. Henry should be Nova. That would be wild. I'd like to see Henry Cavill play a villain in Marvel. Like, make him a Thanos level character. Make him Doctor Doom. Just do it. Although we do enter this area where, is Henry Cavill too powerful? Right? He was Superman. People want him as James Bond. He's potentially now playing Wolverine in Deadpool. He's making a Warhammer universe. Is the man just too powerful? I don't know. And objectively, he's one of the most attractive men on the planet. I think he's got too much power. I think he does. But rightfully so. He deserves it. Do you think we are long overdue for a Justice Society project? I would like a series based on the Silver Age adventures or a movie with them participating in World War II. Tomorrowverse movies does not count. Excuse me. I would not be surprised if in this DCU, James Gunn is making this idea that superheroes existed during World War II. So you could potentially get a Justice Society. However, if you're not going to get a Justice League Dark, I don't think a Justice Society is anywhere in the plans at the moment. Have you watched Son of Batman? Because I just, like, you never liked Damian, but Son of Batman really changed my mind in him and ended up liking Damian. That's actually one of the movies that makes me dislike Damian even more. I do not like that movie. It's actually the movie that made me stop watching those DC animated films because I was not interested in it anymore. And that is me, guys. Like, that is who I inherently am. If you lose my interest even a little bit, there is a big chance I will stop watching or doing that said thing. It's who I am. Do you know who Professor Geek is on YouTube? I do know, but I've never watched their stuff. Do you like the new take on Joker and Robert Pattinson's Batman universe with his burned face and everything? I am an Elseworlds lover, so I like any interpretation because in my mind, everything is Elseworlds, even this DCU. The DCU is Elseworlds in my opinion. So yeah, I will take any iteration and version of the character. Jared Leto's Joker, people want to talk about it all the time, how he's such a shitty Joker. Even me, I'm like, what the hell are they doing with this Joker? I'd still accept it because I just wanted to see something new. I wanted to give it a shot. So I am okay with it. After seeing his deleted scene, am I feeling it? Meh. 40, 60. There's still a 40% chance they could change my mind on it, but overall, I would have gone somewhere different. What's up, Ron? Do you think we can see Tim Drake in the new Teen Titans movie as the leader? Possibly. Maybe like Damian is the Robin for Batman, but then the Robin for the Teen Titans is Tim. That would be interesting. Something tells me, though, it's going to be Damian as the Teen Titans leader. I would love Tim Drake, though. I'm a huge Tim Drake supporter. He's my favorite Robin. Where did I leave off here? Butt buddies. How do you make an official comic book? Like, do you have to get in contact with DC? If it's their characters, then yeah. And how you even go about that, I would not know, to be honest. Jared Leto scares me for the wrong reasons. Yeah, it wasn't that great. Where did I leave off? What are your thoughts on Batman Under the Red Hood? One of the best Batman animated movies ever made. I think Batman Under the Red Hood is like a top 2 animated Batman movie, and I don't actually know if it's 2. I think it's number 1. I think Batman Under the Red Hood might go down as one of my favorite animated films of all time. Do you think Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson would integrate their universe into the DCU? I saw a comment a few weeks ago about people speculating. I do think it's been a conversation. I do think it's something that James Gunn actually might want. And I do think that maybe the delay of the Batman truly could be that. Still trying to like make Matt Reeves think, hey, just put him in the DCU. Let's do this. You know, let's do it. Come on. But I don't know. I really don't think it's going to happen. I think he's going to stay in the DCU. Or sorry, outside of the DCU. My bad. Do I think the Joker 2 will be any good? It won't be as good as the first one. I'll just say that. I don't think so. John Krasinski or Jake Gyllenhaal as Batman in the DCU? If I had to choose between the two, Jake Gyllenhaal. John Krasinski, I've always wanted as Green Lantern. I've always wanted him as Hal Jordan. AMD, what's up? Hey, hey. The Batman is being talked about like the second coming. Yeah, and as a hardcore Batman fan, it's just not. It's not. Let's relax on the Batman talk. It was good, but it's not like, you know, like I said, it's not saving humanity in any way. And yeah, like once again, I'm not saying the Batman is bad because in my opinion, it's not. But you know, I don't know, in my opinion, I don't know what they did with the Batman that could, as a Batman fan, inherently change my opinion. That would make me say, oh man, this is so much better than Nolan and Bale's Batman Dark Knight trilogy. This is so much better than Ben Affleck's Batman. There's nothing that movie does that makes me feel like all other Batmans are obsolete. I don't feel that way. Do you think Christopher Nolan would ever direct a DC film again? No. And he's been pretty like apparent with that. When he's been asked before, he's been straight up like, no, like I will not do another one. It's done. Like I am done with DC comic films. And I respect that. I really do. Arun, what's up, man? What's your opinion on the same casting choice being overused between Marvel and DC? Uh, um, it can get boring. It really can. I only really like it when there's an actor or an actress who was done dirty before and deserves another chance at it. But it can get overplayed. It can get overplayed. Like, for example, Ben Affleck, that was awesome. He deserved that, and he did a great job, you know? Caden, how's it going, man? Do you think the DCU will focus on fleshing out the other core characters, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and The Flash properly, which is what I think they should, before making a rush team up movie? I think that's the idea they want to go for. Will they actually do it though? I don't know. There is no Justice League in the in being talked about or circulated in any way at the moment. So that's definitely the idea of what they would want to go for. Jared Leto looks like someone's kids should stay away. You know what? That's not just Jared Leto as the Joker. I think that's just Jared Leto as Jared Leto. Here's a really weird thing about Jared Leto, though. Whereas he does have this really off putting appearance or nature about him, here's the weirdest thing. I think I would be interested in sitting down with him and talking to Jared Leto. I think I would actually be interested in getting to know him. But there is something off about him. So it's a give and take. I don't know. I feel the only way I would know is if I sat down and spoke with him. But I get it. Something about Jared Leto, it's just it's weird. I don't know. Strange dude. Damien as Teen Titans leader sounds terrible. I agree. I agree. I don't like it. Um. Whoa, Torres with the massive hot take. Jared Leto is the best cinematic Joker. Wow. Holy crap. I mean, I'm not someone to argue with hot takes, so I'm definitely not arguing with hot takes. But that's wild. That's wild. That's crazy. I like Jared Leto. Damn, Torres. I don't dislike him. I don't. I think like a big reason why people don't like Jared Leto too is because I think it's easy to dog on him. Like, oh, look at all these like weird roles he plays. He gets cast as the Joker, and all of a sudden he starts thinking he's a method actor in everything he does. I understand why it's a little easy to like rip on the guy, but I don't dislike Jared Leto. I just think he's a strange dude. Um, what do you mean incorporating Reeves' Batman into the DCU, like as a prequel trilogy to Brave and the Bold? Yeah, some like the Batman already happened prior to Brave and the Bold. However, they would make that work, I don't know. So that's probably why at this point it would just be better to keep him as an Elseworld story. T.M.M. What if Batman never had a sidekick? Then he would certainly benefit from the fact that he didn't need to have children doing his work, the same thing he did. It would probably be a lot better of an idea if he never did have a sidekick. It would be a lot smarter. Michael B. Jordan as Calvin Ellis or Val Zod. Well, I believe that the rumor has been for so. I still don't understand this rumor. So J.J. Abrams is making a Black Superman movie, and then Michael B. Jordan was making a Black Superman TV show that has no correlation to one another. Guaranteeing you right now, both the Michael B. Jordan TV show is never going to happen. And even though it was said that the J.J. Abrams Superman movie was still happening, that movie's never going to happen either. But he would be a good choice for a Black Superman. um, TMM, who is your favorite villain from Arkham City that isn't the Joker? Um, Solomon Grundy was awesome. They're all good. Solomon Grundy, Mr. Freeze, Penguin, Two-Face, Clayface. I'm going to go Solomon Grundy or Clayface. I think they were great in that game for the limited time they had. Thoughts on Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor? I think he's one of the best casting choices so far. I am not huge on Nicholas Hoult. I don't understand why people like him so much. I don't think there's really anything he does that's really blown my mind. But him as Lex Luthor, I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be okay. Jeffrey Wright would have been a better Lucius Fox. Yeah, don't people not like do blah, that came out weird. Don't people not feel too very fond of Jeffrey Wright right now because of this like mining center he owned or something? I don't know, crazy story. I don't know what the hell happened there. Claymores, it's still Jack Nicholson's Joker for me. Interesting because that's actually a Joker I'm not fond of either. I don't really like Jack Nicholson. However, I understand it when people prefer him the most. I get it. I do. No stranger to that. Cavity, yo, what's going on? How's it going? Mine is Mr. Freeze. It is. He's a great character in that game, Ron, for sure. In my opinion, Damien should not even be a Titan. He should have his own team. It should go Dick and the Titans, uh, Jason and the Outlaws, Tim Young Justice, Damien, that assassin team he's leading. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Like each Robin would be in their own kind of sector. That would actually be kind of cool. That'd be cool. I think the best casting in the DCU so far has been the Jimmy Olsen guy. He looks straight from the comic book page. Yeah, I can't remember his name right now. I played a game a couple months ago called The Quarry. It's one of those interactive role playing games like Until Dawn and stuff. He was a character in The Quarry. I can't remember his real name. Uh, let's see. If it were my choice, I would shelve DC for a bit and just focus on grounded characters and then start a new DC universe. I've been saying it for so long. I wouldn't start a DC universe right now. I would I agree with you. I think just do like a couple of Elseworld movies that just don't take place with one another. Go back to the old days of how you would make a superhero movie and it was just a standalone movie. Like it didn't need to belong anywhere. We truly don't need it. We don't. I think we've just been so spoiled by an MCU that we think everything needs a connected universe. This goes beyond DC. Look how many movies nowadays are always like, yo, we're making a connected universe for this. It's stemmed up everywhere, you know. So I agree. I would just focus on, minimal Elseworld movies, and then I would say the maybe 2030 is when you could start considering a DCU again. Around then. That's what I would go for. Cyborg should stay a Titan. I agree. I've always liked Cyborg as a Titan. Always. My favorite Joker is Heath Ledger. I'm with you, bro. I'm with you on that one. I love Heath Ledger, and I think it is an absolute shame that he was taken from us, because if he was still alive, I could only imagine what the Dark Knight Rises would have actually been. Bane and Joker, that would have been so cool, man. He would have fit so well in that movie. Such a damn shame. Um, since Automata PS surprisingly appeared in Superman and Lois Lane series, could he be the main villain for the Green Arrow movie or someone else instead? No, I think he'd be a perfect fit for a Green Arrow movie. I think he would actually be an awesome character to begin like, say for example you were making a Green Arrow trilogy, like 3 movies. He'd be a great character to start on. That would be awesome. Take Green Arrow out of his wheelhouse. Stop making him face other arrows. You know, he's so talented. It gets to the point where we're taking your what you're good at, right? Like, you know, it's fun to see a good archer fight a good archer from time to time, but only that gets boring. So bring Green Arrow to this character that now challenges his mental capabilities, not his archery skills. That's what I'm talking about, Cameron. Absolutely. How would you feel if Batman Brave and the Bold did Damian well? Would you personally want to see Damian like, yeah, like, okay, I see what you're saying. If they did Damien well, I'll admit it. Like, and maybe that might get me more interested in the character for sure. What do you think will happen if Batman Part 2 is more successful than Brave and the Bold? Well, as a company, as the CEOs, as the executives, they will sit here and say, "What are you guys talking about? This is awesome. We're so happy that an Elseworld story is performing so well. Hey, you know what? We're all on the same page, guys. DCU, Elseworlds, whatever works, it's a profit for us." But 100% behind closed doors, they wouldn't be happy about that. They want a DCU Batman to do better than an Elseworlds Batman, because I'll also say this. If I was making Batman, okay, I'm sorry, I don't want to be overshadowed by other people making Batman. I don't. Why do you think, like, for example, Christopher Nolan, okay, when he was doing the Batman trilogy, do you really think he would have been on board with Warner Brothers if they said, "Hey, while you're making Batman, we're going to make another Batman movie that takes place in George Miller's Justice League universe"? No, he wouldn't have. When you're making Batman, that's yours. That's a spectacle. That's important. I don't want to share the spotlight with other people making another Batman. Hey, your time will come. Right now's my time. I'm making Batman, you know? So there, that's what I mean. Like, I think the competition with two Batmans is not smart. I don't think it's smart at all. Um, Noble Chief. Should we get a black label type of movies? I mean, that is what the Elseworlds would be. I imagine would be like the black label. So we are getting them. My question is though, James Gunn has stated that in the future of DC, Elseworlds will continue to be a very big thing for DC moving forward. I truly don't think that to be the case, though. I think the only Elseworlds we will get is pretty much Batman. And if everything works out and Matt Reeves finishes his Batman world, I don't think there will be much Elseworlds coming from after that. I think it'll just be that, and that's it. I do think they want to maybe get rid of Elseworlds as quick as possible. If you were to do a DC animated universe with just TV shows, how would you do it, and what would be the shows, or like what would they? Oh, the overarching narrative. A DC animated universe, the overarching narrative. For a DC animated universe, I would want to do Blackest Night event. That's where it would be heading to, because my live action would be Dark Side, but animation would be Blackest Night. That's where I would kind of lead it. Uh, let's see. Um, should Plastic Man be in Guns DCU? Yeah, I think. I mean, at this point, if you're doing all these, like, niche characters, why not get Plastic Man in there? You know, and get Jim Schwartz to play him. Is that his name? Let me make sure. Not Jim Schwartz. Oh my god. Um I always forget his name. He's so funny though. Hold on, I gotta look him up. It's gonna bother me. Ben Schwartz. That's who it is. Get Ben Schwartz to play Plastic Man. Perfection. Um. Yes, yeah, Ron. It's Ben. Yes, thank you. Yeah, Ben Schwartz would be perfect Plastic Man. Um, is Jared Leto on Epstein's list? I have no idea, to be honest with you. Not sure. I am excited about the Penguin Show, Marvel Nerd. I am looking forward to it. Alex Lighty, did you hear Zack Snyder's thoughts on Joe Rogan's podcast about Batman killing, and do you agree with it? Yeah, to a particular extent, I do. I think Zack Snyder actually made a really good point that if you don't challenge your protagonist, if you don't challenge your heroes, then what's the point? You know, you're making their purpose obsolete. So I know a lot. Because this created a huge explosion. This whole thing about Zack Snyder talking about Batman killing literally created more talk than the DCU itself. Love him or hate him, Zack Snyder gets people talking. I think that's what's so great about him. Um, so what I find so fascinating about that conversation is people will make it out to seem like, oh, Batman needs to be a killer. Let's pop this guy in the head, stab this guy in the head, let's end everyone's lives. I don't personally think that is what Zack Snyder was saying about Batman. I think the idea is the deconstruction of the character, the idea that, you know, he has hit such a low point in his life that killing almost becomes this idea that it doesn't become so much of a you know, should I do it, should I not do it, it becomes a I have to do it, you know. And the idea he used about the baby being held up by the thug, he's like, you know, I'll do it, I'll shoot him. And Batman does the, you know, I believe you, and takes the shot. Realistically, like, let's be honest here. If the life of a baby was being threatened and Batman had a gun in his hand and the only thing he could do is shoot the thug before the thug shoots the child, yes, Batman should shoot that thug and kill the thug. If anybody is saying, well, you know what, Batman should find a different way to do it, no, stop putting it in that situation. If we are really concerned about the life of a criminal and a thug from taking a baby away from a mother and a father, more than if we're more concerned about Batman's kill code than taking a child away from parents, there's a big problem there. Like that's bad. So that's why I understand what Zack Snyder is saying, and I completely agree with him. I personally do not I do not dislike I do not dislike this idea that Batman can't kill. And I just saw I lost like a lot of viewers here, and that's probably because I'm saying nice things about Zack Snyder, and I don't really care. I'm going to continue to do so. I do not care about this whole kill rule of Batman. I like it does not bother me. I think, when you are someone like Batman, there is bound to be a situation where Batman is going to have to be, like, oh my God, if I make even one more move, I might end up killing someone. You see the way Batman moves, the gadgets he uses, the cars he drives. Like, give me a break, guys. You're telling me right now that in Arkham Knight, that Batman wouldn't be killing criminals as he's driving along the streets of New York City, or of Gotham City? Of course he would end up killing people. Like, it's just ridiculous to think he wouldn't be. And I think people are so stuck on this idea of Batman killing because it almost like ruins the memory of their childhood of who Batman can be. Even though in the past we've seen brutal Batmans, we've seen Batman kill before. Um, and I think with Batman, there's a huge difference about Batman being a killer or Batman having killed before. And here's how I put it. If you have a Batman who is actively going out there and like snapping people's necks, using guns to kill people, okay? If you have a Batman who's actively doing that, then yes, he is no longer Batman anymore. He's not. He's something different. He's evil, okay? In a manner of speaking. Because he's killing people that you could hypothetically say deserves to be killed in a way. But how do you make that judgment? How do you make, are you judge and executioner? So what I'll say is, if Batman starts doing that, that's a different story. He's probably not Batman anymore, the version we know of him. However, if you look at some of these Batman movies, okay, Christian Bale's Batman, when he refused to save Ra's al Ghul, no matter how you want to put it, he essentially kills Ra's al Ghul in that moment. The Dark Knight, when he's driving in the underground area of Gotham City, and he smashes the truck, the garbage truck driver, and crunches his vehicle up against the ceiling of the highway, he kills that person. Who else? In The Dark Knight Rises, he also kills somebody else when they are driving to try and stop Talia when he's in the Batwing. That Batman killed a multitude of people, okay? Michael Keaton's Batman killed people in his movies. Strapping the bomb to a guy, throwing him in a sewer, and blowing up. Yeah, that's murder, bro. That's straight up murder. We can't confidently sit here and say that Robert Pattinson's Batman didn't cause some extreme damage and probably at the very least extreme injuries in that chase against the Penguin in the Batman movie. This is what we need to understand about Batman. Batman's job is this. This is who he is. He is going to be in situations where if you make even one wrong move, it could potentially result in your life. And it's a question of what can Batman be accountable for? Is he going to be accountable for the deaths that you as a thug caused him to do? Like, there's so much context to look at this when it comes to Batman. In Batman vs. Superman, the warehouse scene, okay? There is a part where the thug takes the pin out of the grenade and he's about to throw it, and Batman spins around, right? He spins around and does a kick, and he kicks the guy into the doorway, and the grenade bounces out of his hand. Or no, sorry, he doesn't kick the dude. He kicks the guy hanging on the wire, and the guy goes flying into the guy with the grenade, and the grenade bounces. I am not blaming Batman for that. That is the thug's decision to pull the pin out of the grenade. The thug made that call. He decided to pull a grenade on one dude and potentially throw it. That is not Batman's fault for killing that guy with the grenade. It's just straight up not. It's not, you know? So that's how I see the whole distinction of Batman killing people or not. I think if Batman inadvertently kills people, like if something happens, and let's just hypothetically say Batman's fighting a bunch of thugs, and with all his force, he kicks a thug, and the thug goes flying back and hits his head off a metal pipe. That's what's going to happen. It's just what's going to happen. And Batman understands that he can't sit here and just kill people willingly, because that now makes him the man he doesn't want to be. But I think it's hard to be a person like Batman and, you know, inadvertently kill people. Like it's just going to happen. It is. You can't drive a tank at night, smash into thugs' cars, and expect someone not to get a brain injury. That's just how I view it. That is just how I view it personally. And I know people don't like it, and frankly, it I don't really care, because I think it's okay. I think we put way too much restrictions on these characters to the point where like it almost scares people to make their own version of these characters, or to like what they like about these characters, or to voice their opinion. Like, I'm telling you right now, there are so many people afraid to voice their opinion. They would have never done what I just did here. And like, I clearly lost viewers from saying this about Batman, and the fact that I agree with it. But I don't care, because you are in your own right to like that. You don't need to like me or Zach or anyone else who feels that way, but you're within your own right to like what you like, and I appreciate that. That's why I don't hold Batman. Once again, I hold Batman to this rule that he shouldn't be a mass murderer, but I don't hold him to this rule that it's impossible for him to kill, because he can. And I think under the right circumstances, it's actually immoral not to kill. When you have a baby being held at gunshot, Batman should kill that thug. It's only right. The baby's life is more important than his morals. All right. That was my long spiel about it. Zach jumped the gun for his Batman. Just say the version of Batman had a bad... Yeah, I get why he did it. Yeah, and what I'll say, Noble Chief, too, like, I'll even say that maybe the integrity of Ben Affleck's Batman was not challenged enough. We have seen so many Batmans over history go through death, right? Jason Todd, other Robins, Alfred, you know, we've seen him go through a lot of travesty, and never did one of those deaths really turn him into a killer. So maybe the integrity of Batman, or of Ben Affleck's Batman, needed to be challenged just a little bit more. However, what I will say, it's still not enough for me to say, oh, I don't like it. And even though Batman did kill in that movie, once again, like, the branding of people is basically a warning to others in prisons. Like, hey, guys, this guy's been branded. He's got a bat symbol branded to his chest. This dude was a sexual trafficker. Oh no, Batman, please don't send a a sex trafficker to their death. Are you kidding me? Like, are we actually trying to sit here and say that we are more worried about the life of a sex trafficker than we are about Batman warning other prisoners that's who you're with? If they kill that prisoner, who's losing sleep over that person? That person is terrible. It's a terrible human being. So I just don't understand where this whole idea of Batman not... Like, it's so mind-blowing to me, because It's just like Batman is trying to rid the people, those types of people, of his city. Now, the argument does come to, okay, well, if he's going to do that, why isn't he doing that to the Joker? That becomes the problem. So, if Batman's going to kill, once again, it can't be like, oh, I'm a killer, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead. You can't do that. Like, Batman can't just guns blazing, yeehaw, he can't do that. But I think inadvertently, you can make it work, Yeah, I've said what I had to say. Cac, sadly have to leave. Goodbye. Good to see you, man. Thank you for being here. I feel very passionately about this. I really do. I feel very confident that Batman's no-kill rule is a little foolish. It's a little childish. And it truly doesn't make sense. But I know a lot of people won't necessarily like me for that. It is what it is. Ron, the question is not every prisoner Batman brands as a sex trafficker level prison. Yes. No, you're right. You're 100% right, Ron. Like, I'm not saying every single person he puts in prison deserves that treatment. Does a sex trafficker? Yeah, 100%. But maybe it's just like a prisoner who's like, oh, I tried to rob a convenience store. I'm down on my luck. I held them up at gunpoint. I wanted the money in the cash register. Sure, Batman shouldn't be branding that person. And I don't even believe Ben Affleck's Batman was doing that. I don't think he would have branded those type of people. But there is some disgusting scum out there who when watching that movie, I didn't feel bad for that dude. He kept women locked up in a dungeon from their homes across the sea, delivering them to other perverted people. I don't feel bad for that guy. And I don't think anyone should, So, yeah. Whew. My God. All right, that was a lot. Yeah, Brown Destroyer. Even Adam West's Batman killed people. Once again, let's not make Batman the Batman who laughs, right? That's a dimensional mass murderer. So if you make Batman a mass murderer, completely different story. But Ben Affleck's not a mass murderer. His Batman was not a mass murderer. He was just getting rid of criminality that is disgusting, I don't know. It is what it is. Yeah, but Ron, like, what? Who did he necessarily brand out? Who did we see him brand outside of that sexual trafficker? I don't remember, other than the potential of the branding on Lex Luthor, because he, in a way, is another guy who would have deserved it. He created a doomsday that could have potentially wiped out the entire Earth. Lex Luthor would do disgusting things just to prove his dominance over Superman, right? So who did he brand other than that the trafficker? I don't really remember. I don't know. Sorry, not. I don't really remember. I don't think he did traffic. Oh my God! Now I'm getting all these words mixed up. Batman's gonna have to brand himself. Okay, yes, then that's fair. The movie did imply he was doing it for some time, but there is no reason to believe he was just taking a common criminal who was down on their luck and branding them. The movie implies he was doing it to disgusting people, to people who don't deserve to breathe the air around us. right? Once again, the question becomes, why isn't he doing that to other criminals? Well, at this point in time, we don't know, like, for example, Joker, because people use that excuse a lot. We don't know where Joker is at this point. So there's context to that, and I don't, like I said, I don't think he was doing it to any common thug. I think he was doing it to really terrible people, and I'm on board with that. I'm okay with it. Batman branded in DC Comics too, but in Elseworld stories. And see, this is why comic book accuracy, in my opinion, is a little foolish. Because what's accurate? The continuity or Elseworld stories. If it's happened in Elseworld stories, it's comic accurate to some degree. So when in Batman, Operator Steph, how's it going? When in Batman's career does Batman meet Superman? Does he still have Dick Grayson Robin, or has he already gone through two Robins? I assumed you meant. That's always been an interesting tidbit, is when Batman actually meets Superman, and the timeline is messy. Like, I don't know how you would want to do it. Would you want to do a Batman who has met Superman within his like first 2 or 3 years, or would you want a Batman who meets Superman when he's stabilized, when he's maybe had, like you said, a couple of Robins, right? I don't know. Hannah, how's it going? Nice to see you. So it's definitely a question to be asked, and I don't know if there's a right or wrong answer. Alrighty, guys, I got maybe just a couple more minutes. I'm gonna make sure this stream gets to 2 hours. I'm at an hour 56. So get some of your thoughts in now while you're here. Talk about a couple more things. But this was good. This was fun. I know I ranted and rambled a lot about the Batman kill rule. I mean, I didn't expect it to go that long, but I still said what I said. If Jason or Tim was in Zack Snyder's universe, would they have made Ben change his ways? Would they become Nightwing or a different version of Red Robin? Yes, Noble Chief, for sure. If they were still around, like if because the whole idea, I believe, that Robin suit belonged to Dick Grayson, and Dick Grayson was dead in that world. He got Jason Todded basically by the Joker. See, I don't agree with that. I'm not really a fan of it, but you know what? Not my story. It's yours, and it doesn't bother me enough to have a complaint about it. It is still a little strange in my opinion. I don't think it was a right call. However, I do agree with you. That or like I do agree with what you're trying to say here. I think they would have tried to change Ben Affleck's Batman, like, you can't be doing this. And I do think that Nightwing would actually actively go up against that Batman to essentially change his ways. I think that's an accurate statement, because I do believe Dick Grayson would be able to realize this is wrong. This isn't what Bruce taught me. So what made him change? Um Me personally, I would rather have Batman meet Superman while he is still with Dick Grayson. Nightwing's name is based off of someone from Krypton. Yeah, you're right. It's based off someone from Krypton. So I agree with you. Maybe, meeting Superman when he has like a younger Dick Grayson. Dick Grayson can kind of, I don't want to say like he's always around Superman, but when Superman's around, Dick Grayson like takes a liking to Superman, and maybe that's how he develops the name Nightwing. You can do something with that there, but I agree. I think that's a good timeline. You could even do Dick Grayson within like Batman's third year. You can do it soon after he becomes Batman. It doesn't need to be like a crazy 8-10 year wait. It's possible. Glove official. No, this is a stream, brother. This is a stream. I'm not staying on too much longer, but the topic is just about Batman's kill rule and the whole thing about Zack Snyder, what he said on Joe Rogan's podcast, which I think is okay. I have no problem with what he said, but some people do. It is what it is. To be fair on the whole competition of two Batman 2026, 2028, there's only one Reeves bat left. And yeah, like I get what you're saying, Hungry Almighty. I do. Um, but as we can see, these dates can change tremendously, and we still don't even know when the Batman Brave and the Bold will be releasing. So, like, because at one point, the idea would have been that it would have only been months apart that Batman 2 and Brave and the Bold would have come out. But hey, you know what? If they can space out the releases of those two movies and they can, both have their spotlight, then I'm wrong, Then I'm wrong. See, I hardcore disagree with that, Glove. I don't. I think Snyder. See, I just don't like this argument that because we don't like a particular take of someone's version of these characters, that they don't understand these characters. Like, I personally don't really like that sentiment because it doesn't make sense to me. I think Snyder does understand these characters. And if I didn't think so, Man of Steel would not be my second favorite comic book film of all time. I wouldn't like Batman vs Superman if that were the case. I like these movies because I think he understands and I think he gets it. And it's how I see it. I can't help it, And I think it is okay for other people to feel the same way. Do you think there's some bias towards Snyder because when other filmmakers had Batman kill, they didn't get as much criticism, but when Snyder had Batman kill, he got a lot of criticism? Yeah, there is a bias towards him, and also too, it's because Snyder focused on it a little bit more, whereas the other film creators, they didn't. They didn't focus on it in any way. Um, but because he made it part of the story, it immediately became clear, oh my god, I don't like this because it's out of my wheelhouse. It's different, it's strange, and we, as humanity, as humans, we do have a problem with change. We do. It's just it is an organic thing amongst us. So that's why not a lot of people could get on board. Also too, like a lot of what Zack Snyder does, if any other filmmaker did the exact same movies he did, they'd get praised for it, but because he did it, it's not. But yeah. What if Bruce and Clark were trained by Martian Manhunter at some point? That could be beneficial for the characters because he knows Martian ways. They gotta have some sort of fighting styles or abilities that Superman could harness within himself. And Batman could utilize the martial arts of Martians, right? That's possible for sure. How old do you want the Nightwing actor? It's 25 for me. Yeah, if he's gonna be Nightwing, he's gotta be in his 20s. I would be okay with any, because it depends on how old Batman is, right? I'm gonna go I'm gonna go with Batman. Let's say he's like 40 years old, right on the dot, give or take 38, 42, somewhere around there. Um, 20 to 25 I think would be a solid point for Nightwing, for the actor. I think that'd be good. um I actually like Batman branding people before he gets a Robin, but after Jason dies, and goes right back to it and stops when Tim becomes Robin and helps him. Yeah, I don't think it's out of his wheelhouse. Like, I don't think it's weird. I don't think it's weird at all, for sure. Um, but once again, I mean, who knows? 10 years ago, 15 years ago, if Nolan did that version of Batman, I don't think there would be as much uproar as there was when he did it. And I think because this is what I'm going to leave it off with, guys. I think the explosion of the MCU basically taught people that everything needs to come from the comic books. No creativity can truly be involved. It needs to be comic book accurate at every point possible. And I think when DC tried to make things when DC tried to do something different, it wasn't wildly accepted because that's not what people were looking for. They were looking for an MCU. And Zack Snyder's DC was certainly not going to give that to them. So, there you go. There you go. Yeah. But that's how I feel about that situation, guys. This was fun. 2 hours. I do have to get going though. But 300 and Watchmen are his goats. Also Sucker Punch. See, Sucker Punch I'm not even a fan of. I don't really like that movie. 300 is awesome. Watchmen is effing fantastic. Yeah, MCU is far from comic accurate. It is, but for some reason people view it as the most accurate thing known to man. So that's the problem with audiences, is they just cling on to one thing and think they have the right answers. But guys, anyways, this was good. This was fun. I got to get going. I'm trying to get back onto this streaming thing. So I'm going to try and do this at least. I want to say once a week, but if not once a week, I'm going to try twice or once every 2 weeks or something. So, yeah, that's where I'm going to leave this. This was a lot of fun. Thanks for being here. I love Zack Snyder. I love what he did for DC. If you don't like it, it is what it is. You're never going to catch me say something bad about it because it's what I liked. And, if people don't like me for it, that's their prerogative. That's not my problem. But, guys, it was a lot of fun. I'll talk to you all very soon. And until next time, have a good one. Be safe. Enjoy your weekend.